Hey guys, it's Son Scotty here, and yeah, I haven't said that in a while, but perhaps it's just Scott here, because today I'm going to be ranking for you all the Sonic games I've ever played in my life. There's no script here, there's not going to be any fancy editing, I'm just going to talk from my heart. The memories are in the heart, coming from the heart. The games are not exactly fresh in the head, I haven't gone and replayed them all recently. It's just me talking to you, human to human, and hopefully you'll enjoy that. So we got the games here. We're going to rank them E through S. I can't rank games that I haven't played, so these are only the games that I've played. We've got 22 games here, and it's crazy to think about it because 22 games doesn't seem like a lot, but apparently that's a lifetime worth of games, you know? So first up, we have Sonic 1 over here. This is going to be a little bit tough for me to rank. This is not the first Sonic game that I've ever played, and it's not my favorite Sonic game. I would have to put it squarely between B and A tier. Now, why? So the first Sonic game I played had the spin dash in it. And when you go back and play this one, it's really rough not having the spin dash. But if it was a C tier game, they probably wouldn't have continued making Sonic games, and that would have been it. So I have to say this is a B or an A tier game, despite being a little rough around the edges. And yeah, it's really a different game when you don't have the spin dash move. So yeah, it was tough for me to go back to this game, and you can get all the Chaos Emeralds in this game, but there's no Super Sonic. So you know what? I'm gonna have to give this game a B tier. Good enough to kick the franchise off. Not my favorite though in the series. So Sonic 1 gets a B tier. Now you could give it an A tier. You know, I think you would have to give it somewhere between a B and an A tier. So maybe somewhere in the middle. I don't think I can actually rank it in the middle. I'm going to give it a B tier. The next game is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Wow, I have so many memories with this game. This game, I'm just going to say it, guys. Look, there's no script prepared, all right? Sonic 2 is a giant, okay? Sonic 2 has a fantastic multiplayer mode, a fantastic single-player mode. It introduces Tails to the series, which a second player can pick up a controller and play as Tails and help out the main player, so he can, you know, hit enemies and stuff. He can't pick up Sonic in this game like in Sonic 3, but you know, Tails it's very useful. But that's not why I rank this as an S tier. Those are part of why. I have so many memories of playing the multiplayer. I used to play the 2-player mode for endless hours with my family. Teleportation on, teleportation off. You got to play the actual whole levels from the single-player mode in 2-player mode, and it's just brilliant. And then the actual game itself is very fast. You could beat the whole game in a very short amount of time, depending on how fast you go. You know, you could speed through it. You could go slow and take a few hours. I mean, you could try and get all the Chaos Emeralds. This isn't the first game where I got all the Chaos Emeralds. I did not unlock Super Sonic in this game until later when I came back to it after playing some of the other games. But I love the brevity of this game. I love that, you know, you can speed through Emerald Hill, or you could spend a half an hour in Emerald Hill trying to get as many Chaos Emeralds as you can. And all the levels feel that way. There's a simplicity to them where you can just speed through. You know, in Chemical Plant Zone, I remember you could probably reach maybe the top speeds that you can reach in the game. At least as a kid, that zone, that's where I went the fastest. But what can I say about this game without a script to do it justice? I'm just talking to you from the heart here. This game's brilliant. This game, you know, Sonic 1 got Sonic on the map. For me, Sonic 2 is what just solidified it as like, this is going to keep going forever, right? Sonic 2 is the game, man. I love that game, right? You know, and it's not just nostalgia talking. This game, I believe it holds up today. So, yeah. I can't say enough good things about the game, okay? Honestly, I wish it had... Okay, look. The way it could have been better is if Sonic 2 had Sonic 3 special stages, because I don't love the Sonic 2 special stages where you get the Chaos Emeralds, but Sonic 3 has some amazing special stages, and we'll talk about that right now. So let's get right into Sonic 3, shall we? So Sonic 3, I got to put it somewhere here so I can talk about it. So I'm going to drop it as an A tier, and I think it's going to stay there. Now let's talk about it. So Sonic 3 introduces this fantastic save feature, which, as far as I know, most Sega Genesis Mega Drive games do not have that feature, and it was revolutionary at the time. For me, it was, because you could save your game, not lose your progress, and you could pick it up later and continue. And at the time, games didn't have that. So later when we had the PlayStation 1, you had to buy the memory cards and you could save your game. So that was an incredible feature, and that also shows that the game developers really cared about the player experience, because honestly, you kind of need the save feature in this game. The levels were much bigger, much more grand, much more lengthy. And for me, actually, that's one of the reasons I like Sonic 2 better, is because I actually like the brevity of the levels, and they're much more complex in Sonic 3. There's a lot more going to it. Now, and graphically, it's an upgrade too. Now, however, the game actually ran out of budget or time constraints, and this isn't the full vision, which they later had to break it into 2 games. So that's where Sonic and Knuckles comes in with its lock-on technology, where you get to play the whole thing. So the game cut short at launch base zone. But it already feels like a very long game. As a kid, I personally got stuck at the Carnival Night Barrel of Doom. So I got to ding the game a little bit for that, because that I think a lot of people got stuck there. And how many timeout deaths I've had there, just trying to jump up and down there. Just the way they menacingly lock you in the room like that, it makes you think that this is a challenge here. You got to jump up and down, right? You don't consider, like, why would they lock you in like that when you get into the room? Like good luck, buddy. So that's really troll. But I love the special stages in this game. They're really challenging. They're really fast. They're exciting. Get your heart going, and the music's great. In the special stages. There's a lot to like here. The 2-player mode is nerfed. I don't like the 2-player mode anywhere near as much as in Sonic 2. I didn't spend anywhere near as much time playing the 2-player in Sonic 3 as in Sonic 2. And in fact, when I had both games already, we would many times just go play Sonic 2 when we wanted to play the 2-player mode. So, yeah. But as a game, I mean, it's squarely in the A tier as a Sonic game. It's a great classic Sonic game, right? I said it before, I prefer the brevity of Sonic 2 better, and then, of course, the 2-player mode, but there's a lot to like here in Sonic 3. Now, if you're comparing it not to Sonic games, but to all the competition, the other Sega Genesis games, or the other games out there, maybe these 3 Sonic games, or these mainline Sonic games, this classic Sonic trilogy, maybe they're all S tier. I don't know. But yeah, let's continue, shall we? Oh boy, Sonic Spinball. Ouch. Sonic Spinball, I gotta say I gave this game a fair shake as a kid. I really tried to go further. It had some kind of weird death animations that made you feel uneasy, like when you fall in the water in the just weird sound effects with it that kind of stuck in my head as a kid, that always made me feel uneasy about this game. And of course, it's a spin-off game. I didn't understand that as a kid. I can't say if you're a pinball fan, would you really love this game either, because I used to spend endless hours playing the pinball game on the old Windows computers, and I didn't love this game. And again, I gave it a fair shake. I may have got to the 2nd or 3rd level, but I just think it was difficult, and it's of course not what you're used to, and it just feels entirely different. And I guess it's supposed to be different, but none of those things I expected or understood when I was a kid. And I think if I played it today, I probably still wouldn't like it that much. But trying to be fair, I think this is a C tier game. Maybe it's somewhere between D and C. I don't know. So let's be kind, and I'll give it a C tier. All right, Sonic CD. Okay. So this is tough for me to rank because I was so young when we had this, and our Sega CD broke. So it's somewhere in my fever dream memories. I'd have to play it again on an emulator to really fairly rate this. But I know this is a popular one. I remember holding the game box in my hands, this cover that you see here where Sonic and Metal Sonic are together. And, just wishing that I could play it. And yeah, I just have like fever dream memories of having this box and not being able to play the game and not understanding, like why. I was really too young at the time when we had this and when the Sega CD broke. So, unfortunately, I played it, or at least watched someone play it. I can't really rank it that well then. It's probably a B tier or better. So I'm sorry, but I probably shouldn't have put this here, but I had the game and I at some point played it, but I just can't remember it well enough because of what happened with our Sega CD. It broke. And let me just say again, if you're watching this video and you're enjoying it, I would love to hear your comments on what your favorite Sonic games are. So please leave me a comment on YouTube. I read all the comments. And none of this would be fun if I didn't have a community to share this with. So, y'all make this fun. So again, I can't really give this one a fair rating, but from what I understand, it's actually a good game. So, and the box art's really cool. So, let's say B, between B and A tier. I have to give it a B because I can't give it an A tier because I hardly remember. Oh, Sonic 3D Blast. This game, I finished the whole game. I did when I was a little bit older. Do I give this one the E tier? I mean, they tried, right? The isometric view just wasn't working. I remember anyway, bumping into enemies accidentally, even though I felt like I didn't hit them or getting hurt by spikes. The game is just very, very difficult because of that view. It doesn't really have any of the charm of a Sonic game. And it's just not fun. But the one saving grace is it does have really nice special stages. And I think Sonic Mania used the special stages from this game. Those are fun to play, at least. So maybe that bumps this up from an E tier to a D tier. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of Sonic 3D Blast? For me, it's between a D and an E tier. Maybe if I played it again, I could firmly give it an E tier. I don't know, but yeah, it's not getting better than a D. So let's leave that there for now. Now here we go with Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Now I'm going to drop this right here as an A tier, even though it's like half a game, because the true intention with this as a standalone game is that you're going to lock on Sonic 3 with this game and play the full experience, right? So I was so excited when we picked this up because I've never seen a cartridge like that. I don't think there's any other cartridges like that are open and you have to lock on the game to it. So, but when you don't play it with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I believe you start at the Mushroom Hill Zone, and so you're playing the other half of the game. So, I mean, look, talk about, standing on the shoulders of giants, right? You got Sonic 3 standing on the shoulders of Sonic 2, right? To expand the game, right? And then you have, another development cycle to finish Sonic 3, which is Sonic and Knuckles, right? And then you lock them on and you get, well, here it is. Let's just say it. You get Sonic 3 and Knuckles, right? These are the games put together here. I'm going to put it as an S tier with Sonic 2 because it's just like, I mean, this is just the top, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's the top of the heap, like for classic Sonic games. This is like the last one that we got. And, they finish it with a bang. This is it. You lock the games on together, you get the full experience, you get 2 development cycles, Sonic 3 development efforts and Sonic and Knuckles development efforts. And this is the true game that they envisioned, right? It's Sonic 3 and Knuckles. This is what they wanted to give you the first time. It's got the saving feature. You've got all the levels in it. I mean, is there a Sega Genesis game like this? I don't know. This is, I've got to put it up here as an S tier because although it's different than Sonic 2 and it doesn't have the multiplayer that I like, the 2-player mode. I don't like to call it multiplayer because this is back in the days of couch co-op. Now when you say multiplayer, people think of online games, and that's a whole different ball game. But despite the shortcoming in the 2-player mode, which they had amazingly well in Sonic 2, this is the biggest classic Sonic adventure that I knew of. And I don't know, is it bigger than Sonic CD? I would think so, actually. It's amazing. It's the complete picture. So, and it's got plenty of challenge in it. You can get all the Chaos Emeralds and then you can get all the Hyper Emeralds, or I should say the Super Emeralds, and become Hypersonic. And it's got this incredible finale, Doomsday Zone. Which you only unlock if you've got all the Super Emeralds. So, and it's got multiple endings, and it's got, Knuckles' endings, and it's the big exclamation point at the end of the 16-bit era for Sonic. You know, this is it right here. Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So S tier for you. You stand there as a giant with Sonic 2 in the top of the line. S for Sonic, all right? All right, here we go. We got Sonic Advance 2. Now listen, I didn't have this game. I played it thanks to a kid in my middle school. And he was having trouble with the game, so he didn't mind me playing it because I was able to pick it up and start doing well with it. And I honestly can't remember how much of Sonic Advance 2 and Sonic Advance 3 that I played, but I played both of them, maybe 3 more than 2. It's hard for me to rate these games because of that. But what I can tell you about them was that I really like the sprite animations in these games. I like the voice acting in it. And it had that charm to it. However, I did find that the game had, especially at the more difficult levels, like a lot of death traps in it. Like you'd be running fast and all of a sudden there's a death pit and you're dead. So they would add like artificial difficulty to the game like that. So yeah, again, it's hard for me to rate these games to say whether they're a B or a C tier. But I like that there's multiple characters you can play as. There's a lot of replay value there for a Game Boy Advance game. And yeah, maybe we just give it a B. What do you guys think about Sonic Advance? I mean, they have the 2D essence of the originals, but the levels design is quite different. But I really liked playing as the modern Sonic design as a sprite, and they had very clean sprite animations that I really enjoyed. So yeah, is there frustrating mechanics in this? Yes. But, you know, you can play all these different characters. You got Knuckles with different abilities, punching, and Amy's got a hammer. She can swing. They tried, you know, so maybe this is a B tier. So what do you guys think? I'd like to know. And thanks, PJ, for letting me play these games during our lunch break in middle school. Otherwise, I never would have been able to play these. Oh, boy. Sonic Rivals on the PSP. Now, you guys probably don't know this because I've never really talked about it, but I am a huge PSP fan. I was a huge PSP fan. Most of my gaming I probably did on the PSP after I got one, between middle school and high school, I think. And I played a ton of PSP games. And, you know, thank you, Fletcher, if you're out there, for hacking my PSP for me with a Pandora battery. You know, I think the last PSP game I had purchased was Loco Roco, and I just felt totally ripped off. Paid like 30 or 40 bucks for it. And after that, the world was open. But maybe I have to edit that out. Maybe we can't talk about this, you know. But I was a broke kid, so yeah, I didn't mind having a full access to a game library. Anyway, Sonic Rivals, hard for me to rate because I can't remember if I was playing Sonic Rivals 2 or 1 or 2, and I spent a ton of hours on the PSP. So if this game was really good, I should remember it, right? But I think I didn't play it too much. So I really think this is a C tier game, somewhere around there. We could put Sonic Rivals 1 and 2 around there. It might have had a good 2-player mode, but unfortunately I didn't get to play it much at the time. I didn't have anybody to play with. Now, did this have online multiplayer? Let me check that. So I don't know. So someone check me on that. But I doubt it had online multiplayer. Most PSP games didn't. I mean, you could hook it up with X-Link Kai, but probably nobody was doing that. That was reserved for Monster Hunter. You know, if you're a PSP person, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think it's a C tier one. Moving on. Oh boy, Sonic 4 Episode 1, or the infamous Project Needle Mouse. Project Needle Nose? Or Needle Mouse? I don't remember. Yeah. So this game looks horrendous, plays horrendous, has horrible physics. I really feel like they were just like, I don't want to say anything too mean, but are we serious with this? Right? Around this time, I remember Sonic Fan Remix came out, the fan game, and it was so impressive, especially compared to this thing. And look, if you like the game, if you had fun with Sonic 4, I'm not knocking you, man. I think you probably could have fun with it. But at the level of like where you're professional game developers with a popular franchise, and you release something like this, what? I'm speechless. I mean, it looks awful. It plays awful. And around that time, a fan made a game that was just amazing looking. And I actually think that game may have been the inspiration for Sonic Generations because it was so impressive, the Sonic Fan remix. So, Sonic Team just looked awful when this came out. And then we had these fan games coming out that looked, 1,000 times better. I mean, look, I'm not like trying to be a hater here. I'm just telling it what I think. This is from the heart here, man. I was not impressed with this when it came out. I don't think anybody should have been impressed with it. I think it was like a cash grab and very low effort from the team that made this. And perhaps I shouldn't say low effort from the team that made this, but because we don't know what budget they were working with. It's not the developers' fault. It's the executives' fault who put this thing together. This is just... those guys are the ones that make people have to work on a low budget or on less time and scrap something together. But it's inexcusable for a game to release like this and use the Sonic name to try and make money like this. It's just, at this date, when was this released? Yeah, I mean, it came out in 2010. So for a mainline Sonic game to look like that is inexcusable. To look and play like that in 2010 is just, come on. So then we have Sonic 4 Episode 2. I have it because I got it on sale, and I thought maybe they tried to redeem themselves, and I saw you could do 2-player with Tails, and I thought, maybe I have someone who would like to play with me on it, but I ended up not really playing this because I just think it probably wasn't that fun. Maybe it's a little bit better than Sonic 4, I don't know, but if it was really that good, I think I would have been able to give it more play time. So I think they're both not good, okay? Let's say that. And is it... You know what? I'm rating 3D Blast better than Sonic 4. That's... Ouch, I just realized that. I don't know that 3D Blast is better than Sonic 4. Maybe 3D Blast is an E tier too. This is getting tough now. I'm actually gonna put 3D Blast as an E tier here. All right, and maybe Sonic 4 Episode 2 belongs there too. What do you guys think? Let me know. So Sonic Mania, wow. I played this up to around, I think it's like a forest ice level or something where you can get frozen into a block. So I didn't get to play it as much as I wanted to. I had like 1 or 2 sessions with it. I like it. It's good. I have not played it enough to give it a full rating, but this was a return to form for many. And, there's an interesting story behind the game, which I don't know the full story, but I think one of the Sonic fan developers ended up being involved in the development because he was making such nice games with Sonic. And yeah, it's a return to form, bringing back the old 16-bit era with new animations and beautiful sprites and stuff. I don't know what the reason was, but I ended up not completing this game. I think it was just that I didn't have time at the time. So maybe I need to live stream this and finish the game. So, but I don't see any reason to rate it really lower than a B tier than the other classic Sonic games. It's got to be probably between B to S tier. So let's put it as an A tier for now. I enjoyed the time I had with it. I think I got a little frustrated trying to doing the special stages, and but hey, it's what we want, right? It's what people have wanted from Sonic for a long time, and they finally got it. So there's a lot to like there. All right. Here we are with Sonic Adventure. I didn't get to play this game on the Dreamcast when it came out, but later someone in my family acquired a Dreamcast and we played it. I can tell you that I don't love the game. I don't really dislike it. I mean, Sonic sure talks weird in this game. His animations are like, when he's talking, it's a bit bizarre and a little bit uncanny valley. But, this game laid the groundwork for one of my favorite Sonic games. It features the Crush 40 Open Your Heart song. Maybe this is when they started using Crush 40 and making songs for Sonic games. I think there's probably a lot to like here in this game. I don't have, my memory is pretty blurry for this one, though. So I'm going to give Sonic Adventure a B tier. Let me know what you guys think. Sonic Adventure laid the foundation for later games, especially, all right, here it is, Sonic Adventure 2. The big question, does this game get an A tier or an S tier? Or somewhere in between? How do we look at this fairly? How do we evaluate this? How do we give this a circumspect, judicious, fair rating? It has levels that I love. It has given me memories that I cherish. It has some of the best songs in the Sonic franchise. It has some levels that I hate. It introduces Shadow the Hedgehog and some other characters. Is this an S tier game? It has the Chow Garden. The Chow Garden was great. It's my list, so I have to add something to this. I did not have this game as a kid, but I desperately wanted it. I remember when I first saw it, Toys R Us. They had the GameCube out, so anyone could walk up to it and play it, and it was just like, I walked over to it, and Sonic's in City Escape, and he's crashing down these streets, and he's taking these ramps and flying in the sky. The graphics look amazing. He's destroying cars. He's in the people world. I mean, I was in awe as a kid. But I didn't come into this world from my financially gifted people. So what I started doing was I started saving my lunch money to get a GameCube, which was, I think, around $150, or maybe, I don't know if that included the game price or not. And at my school, if you didn't have lunch money, you could get a free cheese sandwich, or maybe it was like cheap, like 25 cents or something. So I'd save my $2 for the GameCube, right? And I eventually got sick of eating cheese sandwiches when I saved up like maybe close to $100 or something. But I did have a friend, Jeremy, who had a GameCube, and he had this game, and I was able to go to his house sometimes, and we were able to play together. Yeah, it's tough thinking back to all the memories that I have in my childhood and the difficulties that I had growing up. But as an adult, I did get to play this game, and I did get to fill that gap. I don't know what I would have rated this had I had it as a kid, but it has a very fun two-player mode. Especially when you're racing Sonic or Shadow in City Escape or in the Green Jungle or any of the levels where you could race. The feeling of speed in this game is incredible. It really brought Sonic to the 3D world in a way that I think is better than Sonic Adventure, the first one. And it's just, the game's a giant, all right? What can I say? What else can I say? I mean, this isn't scripted. I'm just talking. And if I do like an actual scripted review of Sonic games, it's going to be better. I'm just talking to you like a human, okay? I think I have to give this an S. All right? So let's get on with the next thing. If you're enjoying the video so far, please give it a thumbs up, because I hate to say stuff like that, but it seems like the YouTube algorithm just hates my channel now. Because I disappeared for a while and all my videos disappeared. And when I upload stuff, even though I have 20,000 subs, they don't see it. Maybe they're not interested. Channel's been losing subs for a long time. I don't know. But, if you're watching this and you like it, engage with the video, leave a comment, thumbs up. And I genuinely want to know your comments, right? Because I'm pouring out my heart here for my favorite Sonic games that I've played in my whole life. And it's taking me on a ride. So, yeah. Anyway, let's move on. So, Sonic Heroes. Okay. Oh, Sonic Heroes. We have a fun, catchy song in this one. But the gameplay. But the graphics. Let's talk about it, guys. Now, perhaps Insomniac Games is just an S-tier developer. But around this time, Ratchet & Clank was already out. Maybe even Ratchet 2 was already out. The game graphics don't look good for what the competition was. And honestly, it just feels like a cut above PS1 graphics. Now, I'm not just going to knock it for the graphics, although I think that's a big deal. The graphics shouldn't look this ugly. And I think they're ugly. If you just compare it to Ratchet & Clank, like I said, the other PS2 games that are looking a whole lot better, I don't think there's an excuse for releasing a Sonic game that doesn't look good. You know, it doesn't look like a PS2 era game. And anyone can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe this was a port. I don't know. You know, GameCube, PS2 era. I don't know. It's released around the time when Ratchet 1 and 2 were already out. So, and I had played those games. And then when I see this, it was just not that appealing to me. But I tried it, and, you know, I wasn't impressed with it. You know, it didn't, how do I say this? It didn't fulfill the desire that I had to play Sonic Adventure 2, which I still hadn't had at the point. I thought maybe this would, because you could run fast, but running fast with 2 sidekicks doesn't feel the same as Sonic running down those streets in City Escape, you know, in Sonic Adventure 2. And I felt like the frame rate wasn't that good in this game. I don't know. Maybe it's just my memory. And there was just nothing really about it that made me want to continue playing it. It just didn't really do it for me. You know, for some of you out there, maybe this game was really special to you. But for me, for all the reasons that I've already said, I'm going to have to put this as a C tier. So, yeah. All right, guys. Here we are with Sonic Unleashed. Now, hear me out on this one. I know I said I'm not ranking games that I've never played. As of 2025, I haven't played Sonic Unleashed. I can't believe it. But this was a game I wanted to play so bad. Didn't have a PS3. There was no hope of getting one. And, but I watched a lot of YouTube videos on it, you know. And this game, to me, I believe, based on what I've seen, and based on what I know it did, this was the giant for Sonic Generations to stand on the shoulders of. It introduced the boost gameplay that we have today. It modernized modern Sonic for the gameplay that we have today. Beautiful graphics, beautiful levels. You know, it's got that, what is it, the first level where it's like based on the Greek islands of Santorini. I mean, impressive Sonic team. It's got some annoying voice lines that repeat, you know, the woo, but maybe you like that. You know, I like the feeling good. I like some of them. I like, here we go. You know, I like some of the lines. I tried, you know, I didn't see enough of it because I didn't want to spoil it for myself, because I was telling myself I'd play it one day, right? And I hope that I get to play it one day. Maybe I'll live stream it, guys. I don't know. I saw there's kind of like RPG elements to this game where Sonic's speed levels up and other stats. I think that's amazing. I heard people complain about the Werehog levels. I don't know how bad or good they are. But if they're anything like, I don't know, Kingdom Hearts combat, I think I'll like it. And just because of everything that this game did, I think it's going to be between an S and an A tier. So let's give it an S tier until I actually play it myself. What do you guys think? How do you feel about Sonic Unleashed? Oh, and I almost forgot. All right, this is what happens when you don't have a scripted video, right? My favorite Sonic song is from this game. Endless Possibility. It's from this game, right? If I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, and it's crazy that after more than 10 years, I think that's still I think that's still the best Sonic song, but I can only have an opinion. I can't say what's the best. I can say what's my favorite. And after all these years, it would still be my top pick for the best Sonic song, my favorite Sonic song, not the best Sonic song, okay? We can't say the best. We can say what we feel, what we like the most. So I'm going to put it as an S tier for all the reasons that I listed, okay? All right? So I still need to play it, though. Here we go, baby. Sonic Generations. Sonic Generations, guys. I'm gonna be a little bit more critical of Sonic Generations because it's standing on the shoulders of Sonic Unleashed. Okay? So we have that already. We have that gameplay. They brought back classic Sonic. Okay, so that was a nice move. I'm going to drop it in A tier for now, and I'm going to talk to you about why. All right, so I played this game a lot, you know, on my channel. If you've watched me a long time, you know I did. I did a lot of mod videos. And, I mean, it's a great game. It's a kind of a short game. It's got kind of weak cutscenes and a weak story. I felt like it was a token story, so I was surprised when Shadow Generations was like making that canon. And so, the story just was like an excuse to play the levels, right? Like, we remade City Escape. We remade this. We remade that, right? So it was an excuse to like travel around and replay these levels in this new format. Weak story, expanding on the Sonic Unleashed gameplay and trying to improve it, and adding classic Sonic. It's an A-tier Sonic game, okay? It is. It's an A-tier Sonic game. And I got a lot of gameplay hours out of it, especially with my YouTube videos. So I enjoyed the game. I think it could have been better, though. I think we could have received a better story. The story wasn't the focus. It was just, here we are, Sonic Team. We're releasing a game, giving the fans what they want, playing in Green Hill Zone in 3D, playing in this, it was like that. So enough about that. I think I said enough about Sonic Generations. Here we are with Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. I got to be honest with you guys. I got to be very, very honest with you, okay? After you grow up playing Crash Team Racing, nothing really does it for you for other kart racers. For me, I still think Crash Team Racing is the best kart racing game that's ever been made. But, who am I to talk? I haven't really played many of the Mario Kart games. I haven't put a lot of hours into them, but they never scratched the itch the way that CTR did. And I played this game a little bit. I don't really think it's that great. All right. I mean, it's not fresh in my memory. Maybe I'm not giving it a fair shake, but I just remember not liking it that much. If I did, I would have played it a lot more. And the same goes for Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. Well, not the same, because I played this game more recently, and I still don't like it. I think I really gave it a fair shake. I was having trouble even getting first place in the first level. I was doing tricks and stuff to get boosts. So you might say it's a skill issue. I'm bad, but I don't know. I mean, I would say CTR takes a lot of skill to play. So maybe I just didn't know how to play. But as far as I could tell, I was landing the tricks. I was getting boosts. And it was just a slog to try and get, finish one race in first place. Maybe I was playing on the hardest difficulty. I don't know. I don't like it. I'm going to give it a C tier. I'm going to be nice and give it a C tier. Okay, guys, here we are. Here we are with the last Sonic game that I've ever played. So, wow, I can't believe it. And I didn't get to play this when it came out, but you guys know I started streaming it. I've streamed the whole game, almost the whole game now. I haven't done the last boss yet because I've been S-ranking everything. Sonic and Shadow Generations. Here, let's hold it here, right? What do I think of this game? You've seen me play it live. If you haven't, you can hit the live tab on YouTube and watch me play it live. Watch the replay of it anyway. I'm impressed with it, okay? I'm actually really impressed with it. Let me give you one critical thing. Let me say one critical thing before I start praising, the game so much. I think the game's not long enough, okay? And the hub world is leaving a lot to be desired. But not in like a really bad way. It just feels really blank, the hub world. And there's no meaningful collectibles in the hub world, which is really dropping the ball. But listen, okay, that's the critical part that I'm giving you. Let me tell you, we have not had a Sonic game at this level of graphically and animation-wise, particularly the animations are so clean. They're the best animations I've seen in a Sonic game. And that introduces new things. They're putting feelers out there, okay? So support this game, okay? Because otherwise those executives that run the corporations that make these games are not going to give the team who made this another shot. And they're not going to allocate more money. But listen. Shadow has so many abilities introduced that adds a lot of depth to the game. The levels have a lot of alternate routes and ways to speedrun them. It's so impressive. But I mean, there's so many good things I could say about this, the good parts of this game. And again, back to the animations, they're really, really good. They're like very cinematic in the way that we haven't seen animations this clean from a Sonic game. Shadow's very well animated. There's a lot of cinematic moments. He gets all these new abilities like the Doom Wings and the Chaos Spear, and of course these alternate routes if you use Chaos Control. And there's so much here. I wish there was more levels, though, and a better hub world. But because of all the good things about it, I have to give this an S tier, okay? It's an S tier. I wish it had more levels. Do you guys remember the days? And I know things are different, but do you remember the days when a game would have 25 levels in it? Maybe that was just Insomniac Games spoiling people, right? But there's only like a handful of levels. There's like, what, 7 levels in it? Yeah, you get to play Act 1 and Act 2. The other stuff just feels like filler, like the challenges that you can do, or just kind of, well, they're straight up unmeaningful collectibles in the hub world. So if they could find a way to make it meaningful, like, you know, when you're exploring the worlds in Kingdom Hearts and you open a treasure box and you get something and you can use that to synthesize and create a weapon. I don't know how they would do that in this, but I'm not a game developer. I'm not a game designer, okay? It's not my job. There's people who receive salaries to figure that out, right? So it needs to be figured out, right? But it's a start. It's a start. I would like to see, instead of one hub world with like, what's it, 5, 6, 7 levels in it, give me 4 hub worlds, and each hub world has 5 levels in it, you know? Take something out of the old playbook from Spyro and Crash Bandicoot or you know, Kingdom Hearts. I just want to see more, right? I believe there's more there, and I do think that in the game industry, they're cutting corners lately on stuff with like... Cutting corners isn't the right way to describe this game, though. I mean, it's a harsh reality of the industry right now. In the areas that really counted, they didn't cut. It's more of a slice of the bigger picture that I wish was there. But because this game's going to do well, we'll probably see follow-up on it, right? So understand, I'm not knocking the game at all. I'm just saying I wish there was more levels. It's the best Sonic game we've had in years. I rate it as an S rank. I've really enjoyed my playthrough of the game. It's been a blast trying to get the S ranks on all the levels. Yeah, so I want to know what you guys think. Please leave me a comment. Let me know, you know, how would you rate these games? What's your tier list look like? What do these games mean to you? I've shared some of my heart with y'all by showing these things and talking a bit about them. Unscripted, guys, unscripted. I'm just talking here. And yeah. That's what I've got for you. It's been almost an hour sitting here just talking. If you've enjoyed this video, you know, maybe tune in for one of my live streams. I would love to hang out with you and chat with you, because you can reach me live on my live streams. You know, I respond to people in the chat, and yeah, please interact, because that's what makes this fun, is interacting with my community, with the Sonic community, with the gaming community, and you know, sharing these memories and these thoughts and these things about these games that have meant something to me in my life. So thank you all. I hope to see you on one of my live streams, or just even a comment here. I wish you all the best. Take care. Normally I would say, you know, about 10 years ago, I would say this is Sun Scotty signing out, but you know, I think this is just Scotty, or Scott now, signing out. But thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. Take care. Bye-bye.